Sunday mornings back. Sunday mornings back. The guys. This is actually my favorite show of the week. Like the daily shows are cool, and I like the daily engagements and all of those things that I get with you guys. But this particular podcast show is my favorite because it's the only one that doesn't really have a structure and a way of doing things. We just chill and sit and talk to each other, and that's why I like it because we're not only necessarily always only talking about cricket, but this podcast show is I look forward to it every single Sunday evening. It's a nice way to end the weekend and to start the new week. So that's what this is all about, and I'm enjoying it. I enjoy the shows. I would love to get a little bit more, of course, engaging with you guys as well. That's why there are super chats available if you guys are going to get involved with the conversations, of course, because I generally just speak to who's ever on with me and we just have a conversation and people can join the conversation. It's like you're sitting in a restaurant almost. And if me and Werner were chilling, having coffee, and someone else walked in the door like Aditya and he came to sit by the table with us, we'll just pull up a chair, and that's what the show is all about. So yeah, just wanted to just reiterate that to you guys so that you guys know. For some people it's in the morning for them, some people it's late Sunday evening for them, some people are so welcome from all around the world, wherever you are guys are from. But I think we can start. I mean, me and Werner were talking off air a little bit about some series that we like and whatever the case may be. But I thought the general topic of the year that I want to talk about is, as we know, the IPL auction happened recently. And there are a couple of South Africans that obviously made, were signed by different and various obvious franchises, etc. So we've got Kagiso Rabada, who went from the Capitals to Punjab Kings. He went for approximately 18 million rand. So in crore, that's 9.25 crore. Then we have Faf du Plessis that went from the Chennai Super Kings to the Royal Challengers Bangalore, which is was a crazy move for my part. I thought that was excellent, but also at the same time, I know, and I see Faf in yellow. It's going to be difficult for me to adjust and see him in the red of Royal Challengers Bangalore. He went for approximately 40 million rand or 7 crore. Then we have Quinton Cock from Mumbai to Lucknow Super Giants, approximately 13.5 million rand, 6.75 crore. David Miller coming in late on today. Obviously, he went unsold yesterday, but then today the Gujarat Titans snapped him up for approximately 6 million rand, 3 crore, which was a very, very good move by them, I feel. I think that is an excellent signing for a new team to get such a global superstar for such a small fee. I thought that was an excellent move on their part. We got Aiden Markram to the Sunrisers Hyderabad. I think I'm going to be supporting the Hyderabad. There are three different factors on the reason why. Approximately 5.2 million, 2.6 crore, that is. Then Marco Janssen from Mumbai Indians to Sunrisers Hyderabad as well. The second reason of my reason. Approximately 8.5 million rand, 4.2 crore. 8.5 million rand, as I explained. Then Dwayne Pretorius to Chennai Super Kings, which was also a late. No, it wasn't actually a late buy. That was a normal buy. Approximately 1 million rand, 50 lakh. Then we've got Lungi Gidi to Delhi Capitals. He went for approximately 1 million rand as well. He was a late buy, 50 lakh. Then Rassi van der Dussen, a late buy as well. He went to Rajasthan Royals for approximately 2 million, 1 crore. So yeah, that's the signings that we have for you from a South African perspective. If I missed anything out, you guys can let me know in the comment section. But the reason the headline is Teenage Millionaires is because I would rather speak to Werner right now. Let's go put ourselves in those shoes. If we were Dewald Previs, because wow, for an 18-year-old just came out of school and now he's a millionaire playing in the IPL. I don't think it's happened for many. I mean, Marco Janssen was still considered a teenager when he got also signed last season as well. So there is something that we can talk about with regards to that. But gee whiz, I mean, what would you do if you were 18 and you were a millionaire playing in the IPL? Like, what's the first thing you would buy, Verd?
Yeah. That's a crazy amount to get as an 18-year-old who's just played his first game at the Titans. I don't even know. I can't even really comprehend that type of money. So I'm not sure what I would buy. Probably buy an apartment or something. But I think if you're that young, you'll probably want to spend it on something you've always wanted your whole life and couldn't buy. So it'll probably depend on Devold what he would like. But yeah, 6 million. I think that's enough. I think just the fact that he's going to Mumbai, a place where the youngsters are really nurtured and looked after very well. It's a great environment. They have Zaire Khan there. They have Sachin Tendulkar. Obviously, players within the team: Rohit Sharma, Pollard, Bumrah, and now they've acquired a bunch of other good and very experienced players as well. I think he's going to learn so much. I don't even know if he's going to get a game necessarily this year, but just being in an environment is going to be an incredible opportunity and experience for him. And I think they're they're paying 3 crore for him, which is a lot. So it's probably a long term investment. They're thinking, give him this year in the environment, let him get used to it, gain experience. Maybe the next 2 years he becomes a more known player in domestic cricket. Maybe he does well for the Titans. Maybe he even gets a game for the Proteas. Who knows? And then he'll probably start playing some games for them. He might they might take the Marco Janssen route, give him 1 or 2 games just to give him the feel of the land, and then say, nope, sorry, we're going to play Tim David, one of the most destructive players in the world, and then you come in next season and we'll give you more game time. But either way, he's going to learn a lot.
Yeah, I mean, imagine what he's going to learn from Rohit Sharma and Sky. That's what I'm most excited about. Those two, the destructive batting that they've shown. It's a pity that Quinny's not there. He's getting some time with Quinny now, but it's a pity that Quinny's not there at Mumbai Indians anymore to also be an extra, figure for him. But I think that having a Rohit Sharma, the Indian captain, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So having that as your role model, someone to look up to, and to go to the champions, like the not okay, the former 5-time champions. I mean, it's incredible to be able to go to a team that knows how to win this tournament. Particularly, it's an unbelievable experience. I mean, the normal one that I would have thought was have been instantly AB de Villiers, the RCB connection. I thought that would be almost inevitable, but clearly not. Mumbai Indians being a little bit smarter in that buy, I guess, picking him up. I
Yeah,
mean,
RCB didn't even put in a
I
bid.
exactly.
So clearly they didn't they weren't going to listen to their fans in that case.
Yeah, exactly. Or listen to AB. Probably AB was like, "Hey, guy, go." Or at least AB
Maybe
gave him good advice and said,
yeah,
"Maybe go
AB
to Mumbai."
AB might have said to RCB, no, he's too young, don't pick him up. And then Mumbai was like, well, we'll take him then if you don't want him, because it's great because two of the best um, teams in the past and with the most level heads, Chennai and Mumbai, were the two teams that were going after him. So that says a lot about what they're thinking about and the potential they see in him.
And I mean, if I'm thinking about being a millionaire at that age, I probably would have at that point to particular time I was still heavy into my music career, so I would have probably put that money into my own little recording studio or something. But if I had to revisit it now, if I had to get that money right now, first and foremost, I'll listen to Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I'll buy assets and not buy depreciating value things. Like I'm not really into cars and stuff, so I don't mind what I mean. I drive a I-10, so I don't really care about like cars and what type of cars you have and flashy cars. I mean, I do have certain things that I would like. Like I'm a big fan of an Audi, and if it looks nice and it's done right the right way and done up and stuff, so I do enjoy good cars. But I'm not like a motor freak, so I'll probably get if I got that opportunity, I'll probably get a little apartment somewhere and rent it out and make some extra cash probably, or invest it straight into Cricket Fanatics Magazine. That would change our lives a little bit.
Yeah, let's get ourselves a studio.
Yeah. We get ourselves a studio and we could use some of that money to be able to get some proper equipment, proper backdrops and green screens and all of those type of things. Maybe not even the green screens. We could just have a nice studio, with nice things in the backyard, in the background
Yeah,
and
we
stuff.
have a
So
nice
yeah,
view in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, good lighting system as well. But by the way, when you
Yeah.
see like a guy like Dilbert go at the age of 18 to get an IPL contract, and I look at like Tristan Stubbs, you know, a youngster too, 21 years old. You know, he's also a youngster doing amazingly well in South African domestic cricket. You look at how calm and collected he looks. I think if the hype wasn't around Deovat, I think the whole of South Africa would be talking about Tristan Stubbs at the moment. Like
Yeah.
that's how good he's been. And I know that Deovat had a world stage, or he had a World Cup to obviously showcase his talent over there, where Tristan maybe did not. But the way Tristan's playing against senior players here in this particular tournament, against good players as well, bowling at him, good bowlers. I think that the bowlers in this tournament have been pretty impressive. I feel they're handling the conditions pretty well in general. So I think the standard of bowling has been actually pretty good in this particular CSA T20 challenge. So when I look at Tristan Stubbs, I mean, he could have been the next big thing, you know. Like I think he still can be. I think that for me personally, I would look for a World Cup campaign right now at this moment. I think there's more need for for Tristan Stubbs at number 6 or something like that for South Africa than Dewald at this moment. I don't know. It's a difficult conversation for me to think about and have because you're going to be leaving out someone. I don't think there space for both. Um, I mean, there's
No.
been quite a few stars that have stepped up in the CSA T20 challenge that I've been really impressed with. So yeah, are they all in line before Deovat, or does Deovat get ahead of all of them because obviously an IPL contract? That's a
Mm,
crazy thought to have. How's it, Aaron?
def-
All good, boys. All good. How about yourselves? It's been a manic couple of days, hasn't it, with the IPL auction? Lots of interest, obviously, from both of our countries, South Africa and England. But I know you've been talking about Default Brevis. It's a big paycheck, isn't it, for such a young player?
it's a very big
Like, I mean,
paycheck.
when you were his age, which wasn't so long ago, what would you have done with the money?
What would I've done? Set up my family for life. That's what I would have done. I'm very selfless. And I can see, Werner,
We love that.
I'm guessing you've got the IPL money as well with that new podcast, Mike?
It seems very fancy, but it's at least not that expensive. But I did tell you guys a few months back that I should probably start getting a setup for myself as well. Looking at you guys so all professional and stuff, so I thought maybe it's my turn now to step up a bit.
It looks good, eh?
Looks
But
very professional.
on the Stubbs point, I've been looking at this kid since when was it? February last year.
Yeah.
The moment he walked into the Warriors setup in that first CSA T20 challenge last year, um, from the moment he hit his first ball for 6, I knew there was something about this kid, and it's just the way he approaches it. So positive. He has a very same setup. Then he reminds me a lot about Kevin Peterson actually. Wide stance, likes to get down against the fast bowlers and sweep. Not afraid to come down the wicket. Flat bats it over the bowler's head for 6. He reminds me a lot about KP and the way he goes about it, the way he keeps his head still, he keeps his balance good, and he really smashes the ball. You can just hear it off the bat. I mean, he's got over 150 runs in 3 matches in this tournament at a strike rate of 222. He's faced, I think, 65 balls, of which he's hit 14 of them for 6. So that is
Ridiculous.
pretty crazy.
Baby KP. That's what they said in the live chat now. Because I must give you credit for this. Jean always comes up with the best lines in the live chat. You know, I saw Tristan the first time at Jolovik, and I was shocked out of my mind when I watched him play because it wasn't necessarily like, you know, you'll have when you go to a Kama Jolovik, normally there's a list of players that you look out for. People talk about certain people that you're going to look at, you know. So Gerald Coetzee, he was the main attraction over there. There were a couple of guys. I remember doing an interview with Tristan actually, very laid back, very down to earth. So like I saw him hit the ball there, and I was just like, wow, like I was like, this boy can hit the ball or like hard. And then when he got into the Warrior setup, I was like, he's one of those players that I thought were going to go under the radar, and he's just going to play the way he plays, and people are going to recognize him. And what a platform to do it on. I mean, we Werner spoke about the Warriors last year. That's when we first saw him, and I was like, gee, was just the roof for this boy in that number 6 position. We're looking for a person that can be a finisher, they can play that type of role. Stubbs has everything with regards to that. Another person as well, Donovan Ferreira, another guy that also came out of nowhere. We got his story. You can go watch his interview. Actually, I didn't actually know that things about him that he told us on about himself and his cricket career and how he had to change his life around and stuff. So go in and watch that interview. It's excellent insight. But yeah, that's why I made the title what I made it. Teenage Millionaires and Future Stars, because I feel that there might be a couple of future stars that at the moment might be or should maybe be, if you're going to be fair, then shouldn't they be ahead of the picking order when it comes to Teva Brevis currently, or how does it work for you, Aaron? The IPL contract holds more weight. Then how do you go about it?
It's a tough one because, again, with the IPL contract, it's all what each franchise wants. At the end of the day, I mean, some of the best players in the world don't get selected, so I don't think it's a case of IPL versus non-IPL. I think that you have to perform, obviously, in South Africa's domestic circuit and other franchise leagues as well. But it's more about the learning experience. And for De Volts, heading into this season, I don't think he's probably going to play for Mumbai, if we're being completely honest, if we just tame our expectations slightly. But it's almost like a future investment, which is exactly what they've done with Jofra Arch as well. He's ruled himself out of the 2022 IPL. So it's all about a learning experience. And someone like De Volts, I wouldn't exactly fast track him to superstardom just yet. I mean, he made his debut, didn't he, on, was it Saturday? Or was it Friday, Saturday for the Titans? Scored 23 from 25 balls, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I'd keep our horses just in the stables for the time being. But again, I think after a season with Mumbai, even a couple, because they can retain him for a pretty cheap price heading into next season, he could be one for the future. But again, we just need to calm ourselves down slightly, with all the comparisons to AB de Villiers and this, that, the other. Right, let's just allow him to develop his natural game.
Yeah, for the
You're
short
lucky
term,
that you're coming on this podcast. You're lucky that he's coming on this podcast and not the previous ones. If you had to say that on the previous ones, the live chat would have been going crazy for you, Aaron.
Yeah, but this is the thing, though. I have to be completely honest, don't I? And I say the exact same thing about the England boys. You know me with my Warwickshire, right? And I'll say Jacob Bethel is the best thing since sliced bread. But at the same time, they are young players. And with De Volts Brevis, I mean, he needs people around him right now who are going to be a good support network. Because how many times have we seen these young superstars have this meteoric rise to superstardom and fame in cricket, and then they lose it a few years later? So I just hope he's got that support network, and obviously I wish him the best. He's going to an excellent franchise. Mumbai have got such a good reputation. They're 5 times winners of the IPL. He couldn't be in safer hands from a playing perspective. He just needs to keep his off-field stuff in check as well. Just remain humble, remain grounded, and become the best player he can be, and enjoy his cricket. I think that's also very, very important at this age. He's got many years to develop and hone his craft. Just go out there, enjoy yourself.
He's never going to be able to have his own name as his name on Twitter. He already has parody accounts that are out before he even has his own Twitter account.
The worst part is that Mumbai themselves are tagging this account that's not him.
Did they?
Yeah. They're tagging this guy, and now suddenly after they tagged him, he got like an extra 7,000 followers, and Devil doesn't even have Twitter.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, even his Instagram account, right? The real one now.
It's got like
before the
100K,
World Cup. Yeah. Just before the World Cup, he was like at 7,000 or something. And then after the World Cup, he's like over 50,000.
He's nearly 100 now.
Is it nearly 100 now? Yeah, I guess it's not. It's probably 80% Indian fans.
But that's the thing. Again, we just need to remain. We need to remain humble with him. And again, he needs people around him who won't just be yes people. He needs people to go, right, De Volts, you're not perfect, you're excellent, you're an outstanding young player, but there's still a lot you can improve in your game. And again, with Mumbai, I do think that's the right franchise for him. But at the same time, I love DeVault, and I think he's great, and he absolutely dominated the Under-19 World Cup. But again, we just need to keep him in check slightly and just allow him to develop at his own rate. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, luckily
at
he's
his own
a
rate.
very he's a very grounded guy. So I think he'll take it all in his stride. I think he'll let anything go to his head. And I think at the Titans is also a great place with especially with Jeffrey Toyanada and Mandla, who has coached him even before he went to the Titans. I think it's a great environment, and so he said that the players there have welcomed him with open arms. And the way Donovan talked the other day about taking him under his wing and making sure that he feels at home and that he gets his place there. And he's opening now with Quinny. I mean, how crazy is that? I thought he would be coming in at 3, but next he's coming straight from the under-90s at opening with Quinton de Kock for the Titans. That's pretty insane. And then on the same day, getting 6 million to play for the Mumbai Indians. It really is a whirlwind for this kid. So it's crazy. But at the moment, Tristan Stubbs is definitely the one guy that's sticking out for me. Him and Donovan Ferreira, but Tristan Stubbs is definitely a guy that I would invest in and bring him into our T20 lineup for sure. I think we can afford to drop Hendricks at this stage and move Bavuma back up to open in what is a more comfortable spot for him in T20s, and then bring Stubbs in after Miller. I'm not saying play him directly just in the World Cup, give him some game time and so, but I think he has the potential to really make an impact in our lineup. We need that type of finisher.
A couple of months ago, Devold was like all excited about coming on this platform to come do his interview, like one of his first interviews. Like he was so excited to now every single big news company in the world is looking for an interview with Devold. Like it's crazy. I would like to actually.
He might never come back on here again.
No, he's finished. He's done. One and done.
Hey, 2. We did 2. We did 2. At least I know that when people type in Devold Grievous on YouTube, one of the first videos that will pop up is our stuff. So good. That's good at least.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got to get that SEO, the search engine optimization, on that one. But talking of young talent, actually, Khalid, I'm not sure if you're going to mention too much of the Indian players, but a lot of the under-19s did get selected. So, for example, Raj Bauer got selected, Vicky Ostwal got selected as well. And there was someone for RCB, which was quite interesting, to be honest. I'm not sure many people would have actually heard of him. But a certain Lovenit Sisodia, he was very, very, very good in little flashes, little glimpses of brilliance. I also think he scored 320 odd in a single game back in India from about 130 balls. So he's not quite, I'm not going to say he's up there with Brevis and all this lot, but I would say as a little bit of a underrated, maybe under the radar pick for RCB, he's got a quite high ceiling. So just someone to watch out for RCB. Lovenit Sisodia.
Yeah. So we are talking about. Well, we're not really going to talk about the Indian guys. So thank you for mentioning it, Aaron. But
what am I here for then?
We are talking about. We only talk about the mainly South Africans. You know that. We're a South African channel. So I don't know how much of the CSA T20 challenge you've watched, but or seen highlights of. But who's impressed you so far? That's what we want to know. Some of the future stars maybe that you think should maybe be ahead of Devold, because majority of people that are fans of Devold want Devold straight into the Proteas setup in T20 cricket and ODI cricket. But with regards to that picking order, I think there is quite a long picking order when it comes to those positions in the side. Who's impressed you the most in the CSA T20 challenge?
Well, to be honest, Vernon's he's mentioned both of them already. Tristan Stubbs and Donovan Ferreira, those two have really stood out to me. There's also this player, I'm not sure whether you two will have actually heard of him. I'm guessing you will have. Not many people know about him. John Smuts. He's always impressed me. An absolute titan of South African cricket.
Too bad
you can never get a serious conversation out of this guy when it comes to South African cricket.
What do you mean? I've literally just mentioned Tristan. I've mentioned Donovan Ferreira. Hang on, and I had that lovely passage.
You mentioned who we mentioned. Like they basically have. We've been speaking about him the whole week. Like,
Well,
can
my
you be
apology.
more
That
obvious?
I haven't been here all week, have
Can
I?
you be more obvious?
Bro, I swear, that lead button is looking mightily tempting. But no, with regard, those two are the standout ones, though. To be honest,
But we do need
Okay,
to
let me
talk
throw
about a
some
few
other
bowlers
guys
because
into the.
this
Yeah,
last few
talk about the
it
bowlers.
was great to see these
I
last
think
few matches.
he's lagging, but
It was good to see these last few matches going for a bit more runs, more what we're accustomed to at T20, in the T20 format. And I've really loved the way Otniel Bartman has gone about his business. I think he's definitely also one the Proteas can look at. Going for 16 in a match where over 400 runs were scored is a crazy feat, and he has been doing this for a while. So he's definitely one I would look at. Fresco Adams has been quite good as well with his changes of pace and getting it into the block hole. All the good super over today. Insane game today, actually. I enjoyed it. Good going down to the wire. Good to see a super over for a change. The only thing I'm not enjoying about this tournament is the masses of drop catches. There's like 3 or 4 drop catches in every single innings almost. It is insane. And it's even the Proteas. Janneman Milan dropping catches, Dwayne Pretorius dropping catches. I don't know what is going on. It's like a disease.
yeah, me. I can't answer that either. I don't know what the reasons is behind that. But I've been looking at the CSA 20 T20 challenge a little differently this time around. So I'm
Why's
not
that?
trying to. I'm trying not to look at it just by scores that have been scored. Like, it's easy for us to go to the score sheet and see who's the top scorers, who has scored runs, how many balls they did it off, and what their strike rate is. I'm trying to look I'm trying to see how certain players step up under pressure in pressure situations. So far we've seen Tristan Stubbs under pressure perform. We've seen Donovan Ferreira, like you've mentioned, those guys that are well known perform under pressure.
You're
But
just
there are a
repeating us
couple of
now.
guys. Yeah, well, I'm giving examples so that I can
I
set
thought
up
you'd been.
my
I thought you'd been
answer.
speaking about them all week.
So I can set up my answer, like, if you give me some
Very
time,
good.
then maybe I can set up my answer properly. Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. Okay, cool. So
Go on.
then I want to then when I'm looking at some guys, and for example, Delano Potgieter coming in a situation that he did today, where we needed to bat under pressure, didn't maybe score didn't get a half century maybe, but he did well enough. Wesley Marshall, team was under pressure, did really well under pressure. Might not have gotten half centuries, but he showed an attacking intent throughout the series. Sisanda Magala, it's something worthwhile to mention that in more than one game now we've seen him come in and show his ability with the bat, with the ball as well. The fact that in Northwest's game today we saw Dwayne Jansen take the ball in the super over. Okay, yes, he got a little bit unlucky. The one shot from Janneman was just exceptional, but the first one was just an edge to the boundary. But the fact that he took that responsibility in those situations instead of maybe another senior guy within the side, that shows me something extra or something different that you might not see. Bjorn Fortuin, how he stepped up as a senior guy in the Lions team as a spinner. He might not have taken loads and loads of wickets, but he's come into difficult situations and taken the responsibility. And I'm looking at those type of small little things and which guys are stepping up and performing under pressure. Because, for example, Tian van Vuren, getting put into a situation to take the death to do the death bowling for his side is a lot of responsibility, especially when there's other senior guys you can turn to, like Dane Patterson, for example, and you've got what's his name again? Rectify me, yeah. What's his name again? The seamer.
Which one?
Why is my mind
Nabe.
from the Warriors? From the Warriors, not Nabe.
Stefan
The
Tate.
one that it's Stefan Tate. Stefan Tate as well in the side. You've got Nabe that's experienced. So I'm looking for situations and where people have stepped up under pressure. There's also, yeah, there's been Junaid Dawood, for example. If I look at him as a spinner in the side, I never expected him to be even selected in this team. to be fair. I thought his time with Western Province was up ultimately. And his career's been all up and down, but the way he's taken the responsibility with the ball in the team, I thought that was quite impressive as well. So I'm looking for those type of things, little things that maybe people gloss over because maybe that guy wasn't the top scorer in his team, or maybe he didn't reach a half century, or maybe he didn't take 3-4 wickets, And I'm trying to look at those things that people are doing. Like it was very important for Dwayne Pretorius to show what he could do today, and even Andile Pekgekwayo with a bat in certain in the second match more, I think, than the first. But for example, why Dolphins aren't bowling him as much is shocking to me because I always thought he was a bowling all-rounder. But I feel that maybe they are trying to push his batting and improve his batting. So him doing that. Keegan Peterson also performing in the T20 arena. Not something necessarily that I thought would happen, to be fair. I've always seen him as more of a red ball one-day cricketer. So that was interesting. Those are a couple. More will come to me as I think the show goes along. But yeah.
Can I ask about one player in particular? Because you two will know this better than I will. How's Gregory Maklakwana been doing? The ambidextrous off.
I think if he uses his ambidextrity, how do I say it? Ambidexterity. Sorry. Wow, look at this guy. Yeah.
Shakespeare's County.
If he uses it,
not just a fancy mic.
If he uses it a lot more. If he uses it, then I think that you'd be a lot more devastating than he's been. I think but when do you use it and when do not? I don't think there's anything. Yeah, there's not. I think you should use it a lot more to be because that's the X factor for me with regards to him. It's the fact that he can bowl with both arms that makes him interesting. I think Siam Mahima, for example, as a spinner in this tournament has been impressive, but in the last one too, when he played for the Cobras as well, he was impressive. So he's been impressive for the Paul Rocks as well, or the Rocks. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, ask any question that you want. I'm keen to hear.
Okay,
if you haven't gotten up, I don't know if it's playing. Is this tournament even playing in England at all? Do you guys have streams?
Yeah, we do. We have it on a channel called Free Sports, so we can actually get it entirely for free. It's quite good, really. We got the first edition as well. I say the first edition.
We could get it for free in South Africa. A lot of people would like that.
Wait, really? Do you have to pay for it?
You only have
DSTV. It's only on the DSTV SuperSport. It's not on free-to-air TV.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow. That's we get it.
Everybody's gonna go get VPNs.
That's one of the problems.
But yeah, in terms of my other question, actually, I did have another one. Because I've seen a lot of the comments about the Under-19 World Cup. Someone who really impressed me from South Africa, and in fact, we were speaking on a stream, and he took a wicket against Ireland, and that was Matthew Boast. Has he got a deal at all for any of the sides? Who did he get selected by?
He's not in this tournament. I'm not sure if he does. I'm not sure if he has a deal with any of the franchises, but he's not playing in this tournament. But he does have a lot of potential with both the ball and a lot of striking ability with the bat as well. So he definitely does have to get a franchise somewhere.
Where do you think would suit him? If you two had the choice, where would you direct Matthew Boast in the direction of?
It's a bit tough. You'd love him to bowl at the IPL Titans or Lions because it will suit him, but it's probably better to play at a different place to test him. So maybe going to somewhere like maybe the Warriors, because the Warriors have been struggling with their bowling. So he'd probably be a good fit around there. But I think he'll be better off at some coastal side. So either the Warriors or the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have quite a few going there. So I don't think he'll fit in. In my opinion, probably the Warriors or I'm thinking the Warriors, maybe the Paul Rocks, but I don't think he should go to the IPL.
No, I think, to be fair, and I'm not saying this just because I'm from Cape Town, but with the injuries to Nandre Berg recently, and they have been lacking quick seamers in the Newlands team, and the Blitz would be a good move. I think also the Dolphins, they, besides Darren de Pavlon, don't necessarily have a lot of quick speedsters that are bowling the space that Marty Boast is bowling currently. They've got,
We
yes,
don't
they've
really
got
know how
Thunder.
quick. We don't really know how quick he is though, because we didn't see the speeds at the under 19 World Cup. He
That is
looked
true.
brisk, but he looked brisk to
Yeah,
under
he could
19
be.
batters who could just be a bit slower than professional level cricketers would be. So he looked quite brisk, but we don't know. That brisk might be 154, 155.
Still not bad though
Could be. We don't
for
know.
his age.
We don't know how
it's not
fast he is.
bad.
We
Yeah.
need to see him in those. We need to see those high performance stats.
Khalid,
Yeah,
get on the
send him-
phone to
send
the
him to
Western
Poch.
Province Blitz. Get on the
Nah,
get on the phone now.
I must
Get your
actually
contact.
ask Vincent Barnes how quick he actually is. To be fair, I know that Josh Stevenson. I know he's been tested with all that equipment on, etc. And he was bowling 148 at the High Performance Academy. So that was with all that equipment on that they put on them and those
Shame he got
monitors and
injured.
everything.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a shame he got injured,
We
and a
didn't
lot
get
of
to
people
see
think
him
he
in
was
a-
snubbed, but it was actually an injury. So there are quite a few fast bowlers. It's going to be difficult for him to find a place that he can just walk into. I think That's why I'm starting to think about all of the places around the country and which ones have a spot available for him. And to
What about the
I
Div 2
know,
sides, just to ease them into it, I suppose, and Pumalanga or Limpopo?
I guess it's Division Two sides as well, because I mean the Division Two competition is also very very high standard. I wish they played 4-day cricket as well though, and not 3-day, because
Yeah.
it would have been awesome to have a Division One and Division Two, like county cricket. You know, the first division, the second division, you both play 4-day cricket. It counts for your first class stats.
Mhm.
So I don't know why we can't do that too. I mean, I feel that they need to play 4 day. That 1 day extra makes a difference. I feel definitely, especially with outcomes of games.
Maybe
Oh,
you can
yeah.
go play with Ace Viadia, with John Duplessis and Lewis Deploy, and they might need a guy that can bowl quite fast and need some lusty blows. So maybe that he works his way in from there to a Division One side eventually.
Mm.
Well, that's the long term goal, isn't it? I mean, surely someone has to take a chance on him. He was so impressive. Like, honestly,
Yeah, there were a few. I think Andile Semelane is very impressive as well.
true.
I'd probably give him. He's a good all round prospect as well. That there were a few. Not. It's a shame they couldn't all step up at the same time. So there were individual performances here and there. It was mostly everybody's looking at Brevis, but I was very impressed with Andile Semelane and Boast. George van Heeren had one good game and a few alright contributions, but probably not as much as he would have wanted to contribute. I was disappointed with our openers, but I was happy with who was it, Ronan Herman coming in, and he was quite good as an opener, very attacking. I think he'd be a good prospect as well. But the under 19 guys, they do disappear quite quickly. It's not a lot of them that make it to professional sides in the end. So we'll see.
I want Boast to get a deal though, please. I'm begging. I'm also seeing as well in
You
the
know,
chat. Go on, Khalid.
sorry. I know I guess it's because the under 19 World Cup is recent. Yes, Saleka is another guy that I wanted to mention his name as well. I've been impressed with him. But when I look at this current bunch, obviously because it's fresh in our minds now, we saw them in the under 19 World Cup. There are some guys that never got a chance to play under 19 World Cup that are in the setup currently, that are knocking on the, like Daniel Smith is a flippin' talented batter. Like, I think we forget that because we haven't seen him really hit the headlines like other players. But that boy was lighting up the stage throughout South Africa more than Deva Brevis was, to be fair. At the time when he was an under 19 cricket, I mean, he was under 19 captain for a reason. And he got a contract now with VP Plus, which I'm very happy about, and I hope he gets an opportunity to obviously play more. And I hope I get to see him in this tournament as well play, because he's also a very very talented boy. But we only obviously focusing on the ones that the media have blown up. Technically speaking, majority of the time that's what happens. There are a lot of guys that I saw at previous Kyle Majordovics where I'm wondering whether they are going to actually at some point stand up and show what they're capable of. We speak a lot about Sinitembe Klashile, but at the time when I watched Sinitembe Klashile play, I watched Jason Niemann play at exactly the same time, exactly the same team. In fact, he was Sini's captain, and he's kind of falling into the Division 2 bracket. So he hasn't gotten a contract,
in Division
and
2.
he smashed a 300 in Division 2. That's a bloody talented player there that we maybe must look into. And he's a type of very humble, very down to earth type of guy that just puts down his head and plays the sport and plays cricket and just enjoys his cricket. He's not necessarily a guy that's going to be in your face and going to be aggressive in his approach when he's trying to take his career to the next level. So I hope they look after him. I wonder how Khodisa Malefe, how his career is going right now, because we were talking about him when he took 20 wickets in the Kamajolo because of Spoffy. He was bowling exceptionally well in that Kamajolo big tournament. There's another boy that's gone to Easterns. Eh?
We also need to see more of Lee Fontanzi. We need him to be fit. He's going the same route that Gerald Coetzee has gone down with injuries and stuff. We need.
But this is my problem with
get fit
seamers.
and stay fit.
Yeah, that's my problem with our quick bowlers. They I think Andrik Nokia, because he came so late into cricket and he's more experienced, he could put on the brakes a little bit, because I felt like Gerald Coetzee was playing. This is what can happen to a young cricketer in South Africa, because Gerald Coetzee was talked about. I remember that the Kamajoro week there was a buzz around the ground because of Gerald Coetzee, the pace that he was bowling and how quick he was. Lifantanzi too. That Kamajolo week, when I interviewed some of the players, some of the batters said that they were most afraid of Lifa than Gerald, because they saw Gerald at the previous tournament, so they kind of knew what you were getting. So for us to know that there were two youngsters coming through the system, bowling that quickly, but then injuries just held them back. The same with Aishel Kluti. He came out of the Kamajolo week as the next best thing as well, because he was so talented against top quality batters. I'm talking about like Joshua and Richards and them, like those that year where so many youngsters were coming through as well that season. Aishel Kluti was bowling deliveries that was so good that people couldn't even touch him. He was quick, and he was only 17 in that tournament. And then also injuries got him, and now he's at the Rock, so we're hoping that he comes through. So how we monitor and manage our fast bowlers, we need to be careful. Not everybody's going to have a career like KG did, coming straight out of the World Cup, straight into the Proteas setup, playing for the Lions, doesn't get much injuries, and the rest is history. Whereas Gerald and them have struggled a bit, and I'm hoping that being with Gerald with regards to being under Alan Donald's at Alan Donald's franchise now, of course, he's the coach. I'm hoping that under his supervision and his guidance that, Gerald will become that bowler again that will see a lot more game time, because he struggled with his fitness, unfortunately. You can look at Nandre Berger, another person. A lot of injuries have hampered his progression. So, yeah. There are a lot of youngsters. Like, I mean, Donovan Ferreira. We're talking about Devat, 18 years old, bloody all this stuff. Donovan Ferreira is 23. Like, he's not that old. Tristan Stubbs 21. Tristan Stubbs is 21. Marco and Duane is 20. Like, Reina van Tonder, we haven't even mentioned Bryce Parsons, 21. Like, I mean, we're talking about youngsters here that I mean, we got so much talent that I just hope we get to see all of them play, to be fair, because there's so much talent in this setup. That I'm just hoping that they get the opportunity to show what they're capable of. So yeah, I saw someone mention something about Gavin Kaplan. Yeah, Gavin Kaplan's an interesting one as well. Also a youngster, Winter boys as well, 24, I think. But you see, he came from club cricket and got an opportunity now because of all the injuries that happened at Western Province, and then got an opportunity to play and has been showing what he's capable of. So that's interesting too, So yeah, there's lots of players we can speak about all day. We're going to talk about future players and future stars in South African cricket that are maybe not getting the same spotlight or attention as others. But it's only natural that Dewald would have gotten the attention that he did with the AB connection and everything. As soon as people could see it, like it's easy to say someone's the next AB, but when it looks like him, like the way he bats, the type of strokes and the type of shots he's playing and the posing after each shot, the 17 on the back, all of those affies, all of those things, then obviously there's going to be an amazing, crazy craze around a player, you know. I don't know if that's happened to you guys at all, Aaron. Has that happened to you guys where there's a player that they maybe said was the next this, and then
Lots of times.
I know Ben Stokes at the Under-19 World Cup had a massive buzz around him.
Oh yeah, but that's Ben Stokes, isn't it? He's become a generational talent for England, to be honest. Not so much after an Under-19 World Cup, but recently, I can think of two very, very prominent examples of this happening and it having a bit of a negative impact, to be honest, on the players affected. Ollie Pope, who by everyone in England, I mean, his first class average was well over 60. He was absolutely dominating at the Oval. He has that lovely cover drive. He has this lovely elegance about his batting. He was coined as the next Ian Bell. And in fact, he had coaching from him. Again, that hasn't quite worked out just yet, but fingers crossed Ollie can have an uptick in fortune. And then the other one, of course, Tom Banton. Tom Banton, everyone called him the next Kevin Peterson. Again, that hasn't quite worked out. So we do need to be a little bit wary, a little bit cautious when we do apply these nicknames. Again, let's just allow these players to develop their own legacy, carve out their own character, instead of just comparing them like for like, because he's going to have different challenges. He's going to have different positives. He's going to have different negatives. He's going to have a completely different career to AB. I mean, already, look in the IPL, AB started his career for the Delhi Daredevils, not the Mumbai Indians. So let's just calm it down slightly when it comes to the comparisons. But yeah, as you kept on mentioning, Khalid,
you have to tell the whole world that, Aaron.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that from experience. And that's coming from someone who wants to.
No, but I said the same thing.
Succeed.
I said the same thing. I was worried about that because it's difficult to be on social media in this day and age, and have all that attention. You know, like everywhere you look, his phone must be blowing up, like constantly. And he needs to be careful as well of separating himself from that world, because he could easily get absorbed into that and get lost if he doesn't have the right support group around him. And I feel that he does. I think he does. From what I've seen with regards to him and the way he is and how he's been with us in the past, how he's interacted with us, he seems like his head is screwed on right and that he's not chasing that type of life. But I hope that is true and that my assessment is right. You know.
Same here.
I've read some nice articles on him and his family and how he grew, how they rolled a piece of the garden in the backyard with a drum to get it as a pitch, and his mother wasn't too impressed with that because it left a dead patch in the backyard, and how he didn't. This was an article from Chadwick. I enjoy his articles. And he talked about how he didn't get any private coaching. His dad was adamant he shouldn't do private coaching, let him enjoy the game, which is very important because a lot of people are forced into doing private coaching and then they lose the love for the game. And that's sad because it's such talented young kids in this country that eventually just fall out of love with cricket, and it's really sad because we lose them. What we could have a very even stronger provincial system if we have all these guys coming into it. So it's very important to keep that love for the game, make sure that kids remain kids. They don't have to be a colours at 12. Just let them be. Let them enjoy the game. But yeah, so I've enjoyed some of the articles. They talked about a few guys that's just a little bit older than them that are my age about that helped him out. It was quite funny seeing some names that I know who I played with back in high school that helped him out with some of his technique and stuff in school. So that was quite funny. Reading this article, I was like, what? Skalk van Heerden, Vian van Ierden, like, I know these guys. I toured with them to England back in 2012. So it was quite. Yeah, not on a professional level, but like for the first team in my school. Yeah, I was in 2012. I played some first team cricket for Centurion, and so we toured to England and we had some games there. We actually toured. We first went to Scotland and then most of our games rained. So eventually we just decided to play in the rain because it was raining all the time because it's Scotland. So we'd like dive in the field and I would be at point and I would dive for a ball and I would grab it with one hand and I would slide all the way to like extra cover and then throw the ball in. And it's like this sloppy wet ball and we didn't have a ball to change, so we were just playing with this like heavy ball. Yeah, but it was quite a nice experience. So I got to go to Lords the one day.
Lovely.
We got like a tour through Lords. It was funny because Michael Vaughan was playing like a club game at Lords at the time. I'm not sure which side was playing, but he was long retired by that time. But he was like playing a club game, and we were watching him at Lords playing there, and it was so surreal actually. So the whole experience was quite nice. But just wanted to say about Brevis, and I think he's a good grounded individual, and he has the right people surrounding him. So I'm sure he'll be fine. But it'll be nice just to ease him in. He has this 4 games coming up at the Titans that should be very good for him. I think he'll shake off some of the nerves from the first game. I expect him to already be a lot better coming into his next game, shaking off some nerves, just feeling like, okay, I belong here. I'm playing with Quinny. Quinny will take some of the responsibility off him. We need Quinny to score runs, because that also didn't help. Coming into your first game, and in the third over, you're like 11 for 3. And what is he supposed to do from there? So it's a lot of responsibility on young shoulders, but I think he does have the right people surrounding him, and I'm sure he'll be all right.
You know, like we've always said, like certain players maybe take the pressure differently. Like you might not believe me, you guys, but when Jason Smith, after the Under-19 World Cup, even before the Under-19 World Cup, when he was at school still, because I think he got 6 threes at Wynberg Boys. So you get a 3 for every century that you score. You get to plant a 3 on the first team or around the first team field. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't.
I don't know if they I think they changed the tradition. Richard Levy had 11 or something like that. He has the record.
How long has that been going on for?
More than that, 15 or something. That's been going on for years, since Cullis was there. So Cullis only had 3.
Oh, wow.
So when Smith was coming through the system, etc., he got 6. So obviously it was a big thing at the Wynberg Boys, because like this guy got more centuries than Cullis, at the Wynberg. Can you understand that? Like, so there was a lot of craze around and a lot of hype around Jason Smith as well when he came through the system. And we can see maybe his career didn't go the way someone like Deerwalds did, or someone else did, or something. Vian Mulder as well. There was a massive hype around Vian Mulder when he was at school level. Like a crazy amount of hype. And he went straight into the Proteas setup early as well, and we're seeing his development right now.
Internal challenges like that, like for a school to say if you get 100 you can plant a tree is planted and stuff like that, is very good for a player's game and good for motivation, because it's like Garati when he was at Northwest, and when they had like the one season where the coach said, or whoever it was, or they had like a pool of money, or I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it came down to, for every 100 you scored, you would get like 1,000 rand, and so that season he scored 700s. So it's like that sort of challenge really levels up some players, because then they challenge themselves and they see that they're actually a lot better than they even gave themselves credit for. So that sort of internal and squad challenges and stuff, that's really good for the environment. And literally, if you think about the trees.
Yeah, the Wynberg one. Yeah. Khalid, I know this is a little bit off topic, but I would like to know your 2 thoughts on this as South Africans. I did see it alluded to in the chat, but with regards to a certain leg spinner, left arm wrist spinner, Tabré Shamsi, not getting an IPL deal yet again. I mean, he was drafted in as a replacement for Rajasthan in last year's tournament. Were you surprised by that? Because here in England, there was a lot of chat, obviously, about Adil Rashid's omission. You know, Jake Lintott didn't get selected either. He was just 20 lakh. I don't know how he didn't get selected. But yeah, what's the reaction been like in Mzonzi?
I'm personally not surprised at all because he hasn't been picked up a lot in the past either. He got that like one season for RCB, and then now this one season, this half a season at Rajasthan where he only played like a couple of games. In any case, it's not surprising. In the IPL, they mostly go for Indian spinners, and if you're going for a spinner from overseas, then they have to be able to contribute with the bat, like Asaranga, like Rashid Khan, like Sunil Ryan. Those are like your exceptions. But Shamsi, Adil Rashid, Ish Sodhi, Adam Zampa, all those very talented, top-tier international T20 bowlers, wrist spinners, they don't get chosen. Like they'd rather go for somebody like Muhammad Nabi, who's just a finger spinner, but a good one, but he can also contribute a lot with the bat.
Good point.
Yeah, that's I feel it's understandable IPL wise. If I had an IPL team as well, and Amber was from India, I want to develop our spin should be one of their main weapons. So you want to develop your younger spinners, unless you have an exception. Like Imran Tahir was an exception, Shane Warne, all of those guys, exceptions to the rules in a way because of how great they were at their craft. But I look at Shamsi and Asaranga. I mean, how long they took to actually pick up Asaranga as well. Like there was a little bit of pause when it started, the whole bidding, and how many people were contemplating whether they should go up for him even, and like he's number one in the world, and it's crazy. So like him and Tabraja are number one and number two in the world. So I feel that this not the only difference between Asaranga and Shamsi is the fact that I feel personally is because of the batting aspect. Asaranga offers way more with the bat.
He's outstanding, isn't he? Do you remember all those months ago?
I never denied that he's good. I just went on with you because the way you went on about him. I'm always going to tease you because of the way you go on about the players that you favor. Like I'm always going to.
But I was right with Wanindu Hasaranga da Silva. Be honest.
No, you've always spoken about him, like, from my interaction with you. So I have to give you credit for that.
My guy, just like you had. Who were you taking praise for the other day? Oh, what was that? The stream on? Was it Bravis?
I wasn't taking credit for anything.
Was it Bravis?
Was it like that?
Who was it? Do you remember?
It was Bravis, but I wasn't talking about Bravis in that way, like the way you took it. You made it a thing when it wasn't a thing.
That does sound.
To be fair, I was taking some credit for Tristan Stubbs based on watching him last year. So I was taking a little bit of credit for Tristan Stubbs, but actually the first guy who really brought him to my attention was Lubu Balu. He brought him to my attention even before Tristan played for the Warriors. So I talked to him a bit. I think it was just on Twitter, and then he talked about him and how good he was. So I from the first match Tristan played, I was like glued to the screen to see. Let's see if he really is as good, and he definitely is.
Pity none of you guys watched my interviews at Kaimajolo Week. All the hard work that I put in there. Back in the day, 3 years ago, yes.
I didn't know you.
No, it's then. Good. Do not watch it.
I will. I'm going to put it in.
Do not watch it because it's not a Cricket Fanatics Magazine account. So do not watch it. I'm
still going to watch it, Khalid.
I tell people that you must boycott it.
Tag Cricket Fanatics and the other place in the same tweet.
No, man, all fair. It's all fair. That is what it is. It's crazy. Anyway, let's wrap this up.
You have to start somewhere, right?
You have to start somewhere. Let's wrap this up. I enjoyed this. I love sitting back talking like this, open and honestly about cricket, just openly. When the mics are just on and we just have a conversation. This is not a you talk next, me talk next type of stream. That's what the podcast show is about. And you guys got a true reflection of what our podcast shows are supposed to be about. So please join us every Sunday evening for these type of shows. And tell us if you like it and you don't like it, if what you want differently, what you want to see added to shows. We're willing to listen to what you have to say. I'm not going to guarantee you that we're going to implement what you offered, but we'll listen. We'll listen.
The streets want John. Let's be honest. We all want John on this stream. I'll be there like that. If you get John Smuts on this channel, I might just get the flights over to South Africa.
How about this? The next time I interview John Smuts, I'm gonna try to get him on the show, and then I'll invite you to come and ask questions. How's that?
I'll be there, Khalid. We'll make it a 10-hour special. How does that sound?
Okay. Yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you, Werner. Thank you, Aaron, for coming to the show. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, and do all of those things as well. But also subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen and in the description. Don't forget to become a Patreon too. There are a couple of patrons that have joined up recently. I have to give a shout out to Lisa Brunk that recently signed up again. Well, not again, it's a new Patreon. We also have some other people too that have recently also subscribed, etc. But that's the latest one, so that's only I have to mention that. You can become a patron by clicking the link on the screen or going in the description as well. The link is there too. Go to cricketfanaticsmag.com as well for all your updates. That's for all your news updates and reports and raps and features and so many articles. Go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for that. To all the guys out there, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you had a great weekend, but I hope you have a great week as well. I hope it's easy. It's not too difficult, that you can come into the weekend still refreshed and enjoy it even more than you would if you had a hectic week. But guys, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care.